Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson, BamaInsider.com, talking about Alabama's ninth practice. As you can see, no Joshua McMillan, out with a knee injury. And behind him, it's going to be interesting to see what Alabama does here. And Pete Golding has a couple different options. He can go with a freshman like Shane Lee. He can go with Jalen Moody, but probably more realistic, he's probably going to go to Markel Benton. You'll see him repping here in a little while. He's number 36. Here's Ali Kaho. And I think Kaho is another guy who could emerge. As you can see, he's put on some good weight year over year. But I think realistically, it's going to be a guy like Markel Benton or Jalen Moody. As I said, there's Christian Harris right there. He's a freshman. So I think he has some options, but it was a big blow in terms of a leadership perspective. But I think Markel Benton is a guy who can hold the rope. And Dylan Moses had a lot of positive things to say about him. Also got a great opportunity to watch the offensive line, and I really want to spend some time talking about Alabama's offensive line going into the 2019 season. Kyle Flood, I think at this point, is still trying to figure out the best overall combination for Alabama's offensive lineman. I think he has several options as well. As you can see, let's kind of go through the list and how the first team has been shaken out right now. At the right tackle position, you have Jedrick Wills Jr., who's a returning All-American type player. You'll see him number 4. You also have at guard, surprisingly, and repping with the first team was Landon Dickerson. He's a grad transfer from Florida State. He's number 69 in your screen. You'll see him in a little while. I don't have him in these clips particularly, but you'll see him coming up, and he was at right guard. At the center position, I really like this move, and that's number 55, Emil Ekiyor. And I think Emil is just a wonderful player, has great feet, great get off the football. And I think whether it's Chris Owens or Emil Ekiyor, either way, you have two quality centers, which is important for Alabama's offensive line. And there you go. Here on your screen, you can see Landon Dickerson right there at the right guard position. And on the outside, you have Jedrick Wills. So I like that combination. And this was during Alabama's scrimmage. You see Chris Owens right there at center. And then on the outside, you have Alex Leatherwood. And then right next to him, which I really like, there's another shot of Jedrick Wills playing on that tackle position, which I think we all know. But one particular area is that left guard position, and that's going to be big number 73, Evan Neal. I mean, he's just a monster, 6'7", 360 pounds. And I think a lot of people came in to spring and wanted to see what he can do. And he certainly showed out in springtime, and I think he's worked his way up. There he is on the left of Jedrick Wills right there. Here he goes to the left of your screen. He's really done a great job, and I think he's really close to starting for the Crimson Tide at that guard position, which I think is going to be phenomenal. And when you think about a freshman coming in, especially that size, and being able to have the body movement that he does, because you might think just because of his size he might need to lose a little weight, or he might not be a good knee bender, so to speak, but he can get down there, he can drive off the football, and I think that's going to be phenomenal for Alabama's offensive line. And then you can't forget about Deonte Brown. He's going to be suspended for their first 4 games of the season, but he's going to provide a great addition to the depth for Alabama. And who knows, he could eventually be starting at that guard position as we move forward. But this Alabama offensive line is really coming together. And here's Emil right here, number 55. Now watch this clip here coming up of Emil, and you'll see what I'm talking about. See that push off the football? He's just such a quality lineman. Number 76, Scott Lashley, another guy, who could be in the fold to get some reps going into the season. Here's Evan Neal again, number 73. So I like what Kyle Flood does too with the offensive line. I mean, I think compared to last year under Brent Key, you saw guys standing around, a lot of explanation going on, and sometimes it's just better to see these guys getting reps. And I think Kyle Flood has done a great job picking up where Key left off and really developing relationships, as Saban said, with these guys. Here are the quarterbacks right here. I really like this clip of Tua. It just shows so much confidence, a strong delivery from Tagovailoa. And then, as we heard from Nick Saban, Mac Jones has been making a lot of progress and did very well against the ones and against the twos during Alabama's first scrimmage. So we'll continue to track him. As you know, I really liked what I've seen from Talia this coming fall camp. And I just think that he's done a great job really developing himself. And then same with Paul Tyson. I know a lot of people are like, you guys are sleeping on Paul Tyson. No one's sleeping on him. Look at that big arm. I just think these quarterbacks are a little bit ahead of him, but that's not a knock on any of these guys, just where they are progressionally. And I think that Paul Tyson is a guy eventually that is going to take over the Alabama offense. Now, it might not be within the next couple of years, but I think overall with his arm delivery and what he can do, he could do something special. There's Talia again throwing another dime. I really like his delivery, and I like the confidence that both Tua and his brother display on the field. Number 7 right here, that's going to be Braxton Baker. And a lot of you asked who number 16 is. That's Jaden George. Remember Jeff George, who played in the NFL? That's his son. And then number 19 is Stone Hollenbach. So those are the other quarterbacks that get reps during practice for the Crimson Tide. We're also going to talk about the running backs here coming up, and don't have a lot of action footage from the Crimson Tide from their Monday night practice, but you will see that number 12 over here to the left, that is Chadarius Townsend, who was moved back over to the running back unit from the receiving group. And now, as you know, Chadarius repped with the receivers during the springtime as what Nick Saban referred to in an emergency type situation, similar to what they did, I think, last season with Devontae Smith repping with the defensive backs. And I think it's clear that it's not necessarily an emergency situation, but with Trey Sanders out, you're going to need another quality running back in that rotation. And I think what Nick Saban likes about Chadarius Townsend is the fact that he can provide another receiver out of the backfield. And Sarkisian has talked about that as well, as this group is very dynamic in the fact that they can be a bell cow, so to speak, as he referred to about Najee Harris, but he can also, all these running backs have the ability to catch the football out of the backfield. And here they are working with new running backs coach Charles Huff out here to the left. Very talented group. And from what we heard, Brian Robinson had himself a game during the scrimmage, as did Najee Harris. So those guys are very capable. And then here's Jerome Ford, and probably a player that we haven't talked enough about. And same in the comment box. Everyone's like, you guys are sleeping on Jerome Ford. No one's sleeping on any of these players. You come to Alabama, expectations are high for all these guys, just where they are talent-wise. This is Jerome Ford's out here to the right, number 27. I think he's going to get in the field, obviously, especially with Trey Sanders now out. I think a lot of excitement revolved around Trey Sanders, but no one was taking anything away from Jerome Ford. And I think from what we heard, he also did a great job during Alabama's first scrimmage. And then he also showed flashes of what he could do during the springtime. So Jerome Ford, another guy who's going to be a weapon, is going to get some carries this coming season. And it'll be interesting to see how Sarkisian divvies up those carries. I also got a chance to look at Alabama's defensive line. Got a lot of coverage from yesterday, and I really like watching the defensive line work with new defensive line coach Brian Baker. As you can see, there's Byron Young out there, the freshman, working with the big boys. That's Fedarian Mathis on the opposite side, and there's Raekwon Davis to the left. Just massive, massive individuals. And wanted to say that I felt that Ismail Sopsher, he's been making a lot of progress week over week. I think the first week he came into camp, he looked very tired, almost looked exhausted. But from what we saw yesterday, he looked a lot more in shape. And I think that's great for the Crimson Tide because depending on what happens depth-wise, I mean, who's to say his number can't be called? I mean, especially at the defensive tackle position. I mean, he's a big boy, a lot of talent. I just think he has to get used to this. Number one, the jump to college, but also, this heat in Tuscaloosa has been straight brutal. And you'll see at the end of this clip as well, LeBron Ray is back. He's not in full pads because it's his first practice, but that's a great addition to the Crimson Tide defensive line unit. As you know, DJ Dell out with a sprained knee, and then Stephon Wynn announced on his Instagram account that he had surgery following Alabama scrimmage. So we'll have to keep you posted on that. To the right here is Christian Barmore, number 58. And as we've continued to say, it looks like he's coming around. And I think he's someone who could also get playing time this year during his redshirt freshman season. And then you have Braylon Ingram. I know a lot of you are asking about, where is Braylon Ingram? There he is, number 52. So he's out there working with the Crimson Tide. And then one particular player that I've been really impressed with, and we probably haven't talked about him enough, is number 91, and that's Tavita Musika. He's got a great motor on him, and you'll see him in the next couple of clips. So maybe keep tabs on him. And I think Tavita is a guy that if his name was called, if his number was called, he could stuff someone. He could stuff someone on a 3rd and short. He could stuff someone on a 4th and short. There's Antonio Alfano right there. Another guy. And the thing I like about Antonio is the fact that since he's arrived in Tuscaloosa, with all the hype around him, never seen him take a playoff during practice, never seen him not go 100%, never seen him not get down on himself. I think that he's just he knows what he's capable of. He's a guy that I feel is really going to trust in the process, as you know, they say around Tuscaloosa. And I think eventually he's going to be someone who does great things for the Crimson Tide, and really like what I've seen, especially attitude wise from him. And I think that goes a long way, especially, with him just jumping in and everyone's so eager to see him get into the field. And it's going to be some time, but he's repping with the twos. Raekwon Davis right there. He's looked great. He's been the leader of this defense. He's been the alpha male of that defensive line unit. Phidarian Mathis is a guy who's really going to have to step up, especially in Alabama's second scrimmage with DJ Dell still being injured with that sprained knee. So let's see what Phidarian can do. And I think he's a guy who you should be excited about. I think he's a guy who could get to the quarterback, who could stuff the run, brings a lot of different dimensions. Look at him. He's a massive individual with a lot of talent. And I think you're in good hands with Phidarian and Raekwon, and then it'll be interesting to see steps up. Here's Tavita. Look at that. Don't you? He's got a great motor on him, right? Yeah. So overall, good practice for the Crimson Tide. They'll gear up for the next practice on Tuesday. We'll be back with another insider report, more video highlights. Saban speaks on Thursday. Hey, if you like what you see, come on over to BamaInsider.com. Would love the opportunity to earn your business. We have a promo right now. Get $75 to the Adidas store when you sign up for an annual subscription. You also get 25% off. There's LeBron Ray right there. And also know that if you're a college student, you're just trying to get by month to month, hit me up, Kyle at BamaInsider.com. I would love to distribute the college promo code to you. Reporting from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, this is Kyle Henderson at BamaInsider.com. We'll catch up soon right here on BamaInsider.com.